Welcome again. Today we're going to talk about mainly about Power BI. I will first start with a few slides explaining something about, or let's say, explaining analytics and Power BI in its own, and then we're gonna jump over to some dashboards that we generated and created, because we all know that from 0 to 100, the step is very big. So we did the heavy lifting already and want to share with you what an easy start could be when you are thinking about doing these kind of steps. And then I will pass over to MJ, who is going to present that in live. So that's going to be very nice to see. So first of all, let's clarify what we are talking about. Everyone heard that already. Analytics is basically a catch-all term for a bunch of BI applications. It's often used in website analytics, analytics of specific data, and this is what we are here about. We are analyzing specific data which comes in a specific content area like sales, service, finance, budgets. So this is what we're going to do. What does it mean? It does mean that your BI system is well, it should be seen as a decision support system. So you are generating a lot of data with your SAP system, and you're using queries in order to analyze specific contents of it and to generate and to get you answers. This is what a BI system will do as well, but better and faster. So it's a decision support system that allows you to get answers on questions that you have and see even deeper into your data. When we look at specific tables, we are normally not able to judge or to get the right data or the right amount of information out of those tables. So this is not a good example for a report or a dashboard. When we look at this slide, you can see that this is really easy to make a decision because it's well structured. We have a separated area on the left-hand side with KPIs, and we have the middle or right-hand, which shows you diagrams, specific dashes, specific informations, and uses different techniques like coloring in order to point you exactly at the data that you should see, and so that you can take it from there, drill down, analyze the data more in a detail, and then take your decision. So Microsoft Power BI, what is that? Microsoft Power BI comes with a variety of tools. Let's start with the on-prem solutions. We have on-prem solutions. Firstly, to name is a Power BI desktop. It's a tool that you can use in order to create reports. This is normally the starting point. And these can be uploaded to a Power BI server. This is also an on-prem solution, where you can then share the reports and dashboards in the company. All the reports that are being generated on Power BI desktop, or even then in the cloud, we come to the cloud later, can be consumed on any device. So you can use that on your PC, laptop, tablet, your cell phone. There are no limits, and Power BI or Microsoft Power BI is one of the leaders when it comes to these kind of easy settings and having that for, let's say, multi-device delivery. We have data points in our visuals and in our data sets that will automatically show you the data which is below or beyond, which basically are just used or can be retrieved by hovering over the data. A click will use the filter and will filter down and update all the connected dashboards and KPIs. I mentioned it before, Power BI is not only an on-prem product. We all know Microsoft is heavy on cloud. So we have the same thing also on cloud. We can generate all the reports and dashboards and analytics also on cloud. And also a good point is when you start with Power BI Desktop, with a mouse click, you can transfer that into cloud, which is very easy. So this is the cloud. Let's have a look on the overview of the ETL flow, which starts on the left-hand side. This is basically just a small portion of connections that we can use. So we can link to a SQL database, but this stands for any databases that you may know. We can link a CSV or an Excel file. And then we have this category which says many others. So if we say these are 3 connection types, then here are over 190 more. Basically, that Power BI is already capable of linking and connecting to. And if this is not the end, I mean, if you have anything that's not already linked there, then you can create your own connector, which is relatively easy and well described on the internet. So we are linking all those data sources, let's call it like that, bring it to the Power BI desktop, and then we can publish that into the Power BI service, which is either the Power BI server, which is the on-prem solution, or it's the cloud solution from Microsoft, which transfers the data. It basically extracts and transforms it, and then you build the reports and dashboards on top of that, and your business users are basically using the self-service portal to get the reports, to get the data, to get the analysis, to check the KPIs, and to take decisions. Now, why Microsoft Power BI? Well, it's a leading company, it's a leading tool. They started very early with these kind of solutions. It's a huge spread. They are growing very, very fast. It's easy to learn because it's the look and feel from Office. So if you are used to Office, you're used to Excel, it's very easy to start with Power BI Desktop and create your own dashboards and reports. There are also templates on the internet which can be used in order to ease it up and to give, or let's say to have an easy start if it's basically a specific industry type like machinery, chemistry, whatsoever. As I said, we have multiple connections to all software services, to database services, either on-prem or on cloud, doesn't matter. And it's very cheap. So we are starting from $10 per month per user. So normally when we start a project, we start with exactly that. So there's not a big invest in order to start using Power BI and digging into it and then growing from there. Let's have a look on our predefined dashboards. As I promised, we did that already, just in order to give you a standard or a base overview of what is possible, what the software can do, and how it looks like. Please bear in mind that the screenshots or the slides that you're going to see are based on SAP demo databases. That means that the demo data is not always in a good shape and in a good quality. So this may look different on your database. So what we have a revenue dashboard, which comes along with annual sales. Here the KPIs are on top. We can see 6 different KPI slots with total sales, total profit, the ratio, also the quantity of units moved, the credit memo, and so on. Plus also the changes, which are basically set to the last period, in this case, the last year. We have sales by year, which is able to show you multiple years. We have sales by country, which is possible to show you if you have multiple databases, to show you also the different sales per basically business unit. Then we have also sales by product or by service, which can also be changed to, for example, product groups. In the bottom, we can see top-down account sales, and we have a summary, which is AI-generated text form that analyzes the information that you have on this screen and comes up with a like a ChatGPT form about what was good, what was bad. So this is very nice to see. On the left-hand side, we can see also the icons in order to switch. I just want to say something about the filter, which is below. This can be set up either by clicking into the items or by using the filter and setting it manually. I don't have it on screen, that's why I'm saying that. The second point is the revenue dashboard month-to-date sales. Here we also have the KPIs, and let me walk through these points quickly, because MJ is going to show that in live, and then he can do the clicks, and then it will turn, it will move. I think this is much better than me showing these slides here. So we have the sales by account, also by the item group, and we have monthly changes, deviations. So we tried to put most of the functions into those slides so that you have an overview what is possible and what we can show right from the start. And then we have a table which can be used in order to analyze and dig in deeper, export to Excel if you like, and go on with that. So this is the revenue dashboard. Now let's move on to the financial P&L. We have a dashboard for P&L as well, which shows you the summary. Again, we have the KPIs on top and additional, like profits by business unit, which is with a global view on your individual databases that you have or locations that you may have. Here in this case, we see AT with Austria, Australia, Great Britain, and Germany. We have the net profit and also the expenses by month. We can see the ladder, which goes down from the net total by accounting group to the total. This is basically a detailed view then on the total expenses, on the income statement, which can be amended and can be also defined by your needs, as well as the balance sheet. I went over them really quickly. I think MJ will spend a little bit more time on that one. Let me go to the next one. It's a financial cash flow global. This is a detailed analysis about the cash flow that you have, the receivables and the payables, and the banking. So let's jump into that. On the receivables, you can see all the expected receivable entries with the details below. The same for the payables. And on the banking, you have the overview of the banks of your individual locations. And then we have also another option or another dashboard, which is the SCM, the supply chain overview. This is basically showing you the way from purchasing to the stock and then to sales. We are starting with the supply chain overview, which is showing you some KPIs that are valid for the market and mostly used. They may not be 100% the KPIs that you're going to use, but everything that you see can be amended. So just take it as given now, and let's talk about it then in the individual call. Order analysis shows you a deep analysis of the orders that we have about incoming, outgoing, what is the trends, what is the on-time delivery, what is the on-time in percentage of full, what is the volume. So these data will look definitely different on your database, because the problem is that the data on the SAP databases is really not that good here. And we have the item analysis, where we can see the individual track down and really analysis of one individual part or one individual category of parts. This is really needed and interesting if basically you have big movements or you have special items that you need to take a specific or special care of. Then this is a really good view and look into that. Now we have the inventory overview that tells you everything about your SKUs or everything about the items you have on stock. It tells you the inventory cost that you have, and also it tells you the turnover ratio and the outstanding. So this is a very, very nice analysis that shows you if you're operating really good, if you're operating on time, or if you're basically filling up your storages. And of course, with what. And then we have two other slides, which is a purchasing and a sales overview. The purchasing overview shows you a little bit more about the suppliers and the delivery ratios and the on-time and full deliveries, as well as the same thing for sales. Okay, here we have quote to sales ratios. Here we have the processing of parts. We have the order cycle and also the accuracy, the full. This is something that you can affect, of course, by using your system or by implementing rules. But you can track it down with BI tools like that or with dashboards like that. So now we have seen a lot of slides, a lot of dashboards that we did. What does it mean? The B1 Solutions dashboards that you saw are available. So what you need if you want to get one of these dashboards or all of them, first of all, you need a Microsoft Power BI user. If you have already one, either a professional or premium, then it's all good. And we can just continue. If you don't have one, please talk to us first before buying one, because there's a difference between the professional premium and maybe even other licensing options. So let's talk first. And then, of course, contact our sales contact at B1 Solutions to get these to get an offer for the B1 Solution dashboards. These are the first two steps. And then let's get on a call. Let's talk about the colorings. Let's talk about your logos, because this is everything included in a package to offer you the best and nice dashboards that you can have. So it is included. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the databases, the instances that you want to have within this package, and let's install the service components that allows us to synchronize the data between your local environment or your cloud environment and Power BI. And basically, if everything is well planned and prepared, it takes normally less than 1 week in order to do all of that. Okay. So this was my part. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A. As already explained, and I will pass over to MJ. MJ.
Thank you, Radek. So I will share my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I haven't clicked the share.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Radek, for the presentation. So this is the actual or the published reports of Power BI dashboards or predefined dashboards in Power BI service. So right now I will show you how to navigate a few slides so that you will have an idea on what are we doing, what are we done or what we did in these dashboards or in these reports. So this is the Power BI dashboards or Power BI reports. So basically, Power BI usually updates most of its feature on a monthly basis. So as you notice here, this is the only initial dashboard or initial design that we have for the moment. And moving forward, we will update or redesign the dashboard, depends on the requirement of the client or your specified KPIs that you want to include in the dashboard. So here we have the revenue dashboard. And as you notice here, this is the same as the slide earlier. And we have the most of the KPIs. This dashboard is usually an interactive feature wherein every time you select particular item, for example, I want to see specific month. Oh, it's not there. It will show you the actual number of those months. And also, if you want to go to the other chart wherein I want to dice the information quickly. So for example, by country, I want to select US. There. It will the entire dashboard will interact with the selected file or selected portion of those charts. So same with the product and services. This is all it will interact with the other charts. And if you want particular or specific filter, you can go to the bottom part where it is slicer icon, and then you can select a specific category that you want. So right now we are in the FY23, and if we want to select multiple country, we can do it. And then let's say if you want some other features like per month, I can also select that or a particular account. Example. Oh, there's no number. So let's try ABC. There. There. So most likely this chart is more interactive and have a different. We can play on this feature so that we can identify or help us in analyzing our data. Then I will go to the next tab, which is the monthly sales. So in this data usually shows us the month-to-date information of the particular data. So here, based on the specific year that we selected, it will show us the month-to-date value. It will not show the entire fiscal year amount. So here we also, as you notice here, we also have the formatting where we'll identify if it's particular value hits the target or didn't achieve the target. So we already apply some conditional formatting in these charts. Here we also have on the bottom chart on the trend, we also have some analysis wherein we can compare specific months of the year to identify how many percentage does it increase or does it decrease, depend on the selection that we input in this parameter. And we will go to the sales details. So most of the viewer usually wants a detailed view or a particular extract data in an Excel form or PDF form. In this part of the report, we can extract those information by selecting specific items that you want to get from the Power BI. So for example, I have here the, by the way, this is the data that we have. So for in this example, we have the from January 1st, 2020 up to December 17th. This is the data that we already have in this report. So from this date, that is the only information that we can get. So for example, if you want to extract specific information, let's say I want to get the Australia and then I want to get a specific count. And then let's try one more. Let's say I want only the item group of the accessories there. And then I want this information to extract in Excel. I can go here in the upper portion of the chart and click the more option feature. And then I can export data. So once I click the export data, the Power BI will produce an Excel version of this data that I've been filtered in this table. So if I select here, I will get, for this example, I will only use the current layout and click export. And you will see I will already have here the sales details or example of those files. Okay, so yeah, so for the revenue dashboard, this is the most of the common feature that we put in this report so that the common user can play and get those information that we have been shown here in the in this Power BI dashboard. Next, we have the PNL. So the PNL also have this kind of feature wherein we select, we categorize in deep, multiple tabs wherein we have the summary, showing the summary of those information in terms of profit and loss. We have the total expense and income statement, and then the balance sheet. So in this, okay, let me go back to the income statement. So in this portion, we can also select specific item so that we can see the denomination of those accounts. For example, I have here the gross sales revenue. So the information on the right side will interact with the selected item, and then it will show us what are those accounts that have been selected. So for the gross revenue, we have this total number of accounts showing the particular debit and credit amount, and there is total balances. Same with the other feature, we can select. Oh, sorry, this is because this is blank. It will show nothing. So same with the expenses, it will show the historical and the list of accounts that amounting this total number of value. Okay, and then for the balance sheet, same with the revenue, we also have the portion to extract the information. We have here the export data. So we can also get this information based on the specific accounts or business units that we want in this dashboard. Then I will go to the cash flow. So for the cash flow, this is a very simple dashboard that we apply. We only show here the total number of investments, the amount in bank, the receivables, payables, and the current total balance of the company, for example. So here we have the summary, wherein we have the denomination of payables and receivables. We have the historical information and the balance over the year, showing us where are we going, what are the total of the current balances that we have. We have the denomination for receivables or report for the receivables. We also have the payables and the quick summary of the bank details and other stuff. So here, for example, I want to get the information of a specific business unit. I will only select highlight or select the line, one particular line item, and it will show us, or it will filter the remaining tables. So for Germany, for pound, and then for the Japan. There. Okay. And then I have here the supply chain. So for the supply chain, as Radek mentioned, this is more on the information about the inventory and the purchase order. I have the overview, the order analysis. In this one, the trends, this is shows the last 90 days of the trend, wherein we have here the number of orders and what is how many are the trend line that how our orders are going. So in this example, we are increasing our orders from this portion. So as you see here, the dashed line is slightly going up, while in terms of the full delivery, it's showing us the declining line, showing that the from the last 90 days, in terms of the order that we receive is usually getting lower and lower in terms of full. So basically, most of the orders are partially delivered to us from the last 90 days. Same with the on-time and on-time and in full delivery. So we have here also the item analysis, where in this particular chart, we can see the quantity of the item group, and then the volume or the BOFR, which is volume order fill rate, the percentage of that item, and then even the line item fill rate. Okay, so next is the inventory. So in the inventory, it will show us the current inventory that we have in our warehouse. It also showing us the amount or the current cost of those inventory on hand. Here in the sales inventory, it is showing us how many days before the current inventory can be transformed into a value or into a sales with the days sales outstanding. So the days sales outstanding is the average of days to collect payment after the sales are made. While the turnover ratio, it means one of the how many times our inventory will be replaced in a particular year. So for this example, we have 7 days or 7 times. So for in a particular item, uh, it will be replenished 7 times within the year. That is what this KPI is all about. So here in the top 20 inventory, this is the top common items or the most items that been converted into sales or most item in terms of the quantity and cost. And we have here the different trends in terms of the inventory movement and the amount of those inventory per month and the cost of each item group. And in the purchasing, this is commonly the number of items that we purchase from the vendor. So here we have the number of orders, the amount of the orders, and the return amount. How many are being returned to the vendor. We have the cycle type on how many days before the purchase is approved and so on. And we have a different KPIs here, Bertrand. So as you see here, we have the PO accuracy rate, we have the PO order fill rate, on-time delivery, and the purchase defect rate. And in the sales, this is most likely the comparison in terms of sales quotation and then sales order. So how many of those quoted information, quoted sales code have been transformed into sales order and then into a sales invoice. So that's it for our predefined dashboard. So again, this is the initial predefined dashboard that we have in B1 solution. And as we move forward, we will improve the information depending on the requirement of the client. So one of the examples is we have already started the revenue. As you notice here, the same with our revenue dashboard, but this time it's more user-friendly kind of dashboard. So we already have shown the slicers, unlike the other one, and then it depend on the client and how he or she wants the design or wants the logo to be added. That will be this kind of this is more easier in terms of the transition or moving what to call it, if you will take this kind of design of the revenue. So we have the summary, we have the monthly sales, and we have here the sales details. Okay, so that's it for the actual presentation of the predefined dashboard that we have in B1 solution. And then I think the next part will be how we will show to you the common or the base, just a few steps on how we will do it in Power BI. So I will share again my screen to show you how it's done. Okay. So this is the Power BI desktop. This is commonly can be downloaded in Microsoft Store or in a Microsoft site. So this is a free application that you can download or reuse every time and then. So in terms of this one, we have here a small data that we can play so that we can have an idea on how we design the dashboard and how to create the dashboard. So here we have the menu portion or the home tab of the application, wherein we can see here the quick feature or the quick view of those features of the Power BI. In the top portion, we have the home, insert, modeling, view, and optimize. On the left side, we have here the portion of the canvas or the portion of the canvas wherein here in the report view, this is where we will design the dashboard. on the table view, this is where we will see the data that will be added to the Power BI. And then in the model view, this is where we connect or relate our different tables that we added to Power BI. On the right side, we have here the data where it is showing us the table or the information that we add in Power BI. For example, I have here the calendar, which can be shown here, or the date. And then I have here the financials or the sample data that we will test for today. So in order to create a dashboard, first we have to select select or specify what kind of charts that we want. So in this example, I will only use pie chart. Here in the pie chart, I will add a few information. Let's say I want the gross sales. And see, here we only have the full portion of the pie chart. And then if we want to input or show the category or the portion of particular data, for example, I want to show the portion of in terms of the product or segment. I need to select or click the segment, for example, and then it will automatically go to the specific part of the Power BI, and then it will apply it in my chart. Then let's say I want a new chart, and I want it to be a bar chart. Oh, let me have a new one. So let's say bar chart, and then this time I want the country, and then I want also the gross sales. So in this example, I already have now two category in terms of the sales. I have here the segment. I have here the gross sales by country, and automatically this item is can be interact with each other. For example, for Mexico, it will show me the value or the portion of Mexico sales here in the sales segment. Germany and France. Same with the other chart. You can also interact with the country chart. It's vice versa. And then for the last chart, I will, let's say I want trend of my sales. Let's have a month. Okay, and then I will have here I will use the clustered column chart, and then I will put these sales. So in this portion, since I have multiple item or multiple axes, I can select or remove other axes. I only want, let's say I only want the month. There. So I have now the multiple, or I have the monthly gross sales of this sample data. And then earlier I created a function or a measure, which is one of the feature of Power BI. You can aggregate specific value or numerical value. So in this example, I create a DAX or the data, an expression for the previous year. So I will add this one into my axis. And as you know, as you notice, the axis now, the gross sales of last year is being added in my chart. So here, this is the quick example of how we will do on your data into a Power BI. So after this, I can either click the publish to save it in the Power BI service, or I can store it in my local machine. So yes, this is now my example in the Power BI.
So